Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Medicom Toy Mafex number 171 and 172 Wolverine X-Force and Deadpool X-Force. So, as the hype builds up for Deadpool and Wolverine, the upcoming MCU movie that releases July 26th, right in the middle, or right at the start of Comic-Con, I got these two figures from BigBadToyStore.com, so link in the video description below for both these figures. They are currently in stock now, but I got these guys to help kind of build up that hype, to help get me even more excited, and to check out these comic figures. While the last couple of videos have been MCU based, we had the Captain America in his stealth suit, we had the Winter Soldier, I also had the Iron Man Mark 85, the battle damage from Avengers Endgame, I have the Mafex Spider-Man, all the MCU Spider-Man figures and everything like that, but I wanted to check out some of the comic figures. I have the Spider-Man comic figures like Scarlet Spider, Black Suit Spider, and Spider-Man. So I have those ones, but I wanted to branch out beyond Spider-Man. So here we have these two, and I'm excited for them. I love the X-Force look. The black and gray looks awesome, so I'm excited to check these out. You can see the packages are extremely similar between these two figures. See on the back, you kind of get some artwork for both of them, but you can see everything that we come with here. So like Wolverine's got 3 different head sculpt. Looks like Deadpool has 4 different ones in total, which is cool. Deadpool's got his swords. Obviously Wolverine has his claws, but I don't think Deadpool has any guns. It doesn't look like Deadpool has any guns, but let's go ahead and get these two figures out of the package and take a closer look. Okay, so here I have the trays. Wolverine doesn't come with a whole lot, does he? He's got 3 sets of hands. So he's got fists out of the package, he's got open hands, and then he's got his claws popped, and then again, the 3 different head sculpt. That's all he comes with. And of course, every Mafex figure comes with the Mafex stand, so I don't even really talk about that or include that. Deadpool, however, he's got some stuff. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 total sets of hands. He's got 4 head sculpts total, and then he's got his 2 swords. So, Wolverine, a little bit lacking, to be honest with you. Deadpool, he's got a lot of stuff. Now, let's go ahead and get in for a closer look at him. So I have these figures out of the package, and you know what? They're a whole lot of fun. I wish Wolverine would come with more, but he is pretty awesome. Deadpool, though, is definitely the better figure, because Deadpool is an awesome one for sure. Here, I just kind of put them together. I kind of tried to recreate like one of the posters from Deadpool and Wolverine, which made it difficult because Hugh Jackman is obviously too tall to truly be Wolverine. So in the image where you could see like they're hugging, it was very difficult to do. I had to like prop Wolverine up to make it work because again, Hugh Jackman is very tall. So when they have Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, it can kind of work. But we had this here. So I'm going to have a whole lot of fun with these figures. So stick around. We'll take a closer look at them. We'll see the articulation. And then maybe I can get them into some fun poses for you guys. Okay, so just to see the size comparison off the bat, you could see here Deadpool is a lot taller than Wolverine because, again, these are comic figures, so that is way more accurate. Hugh Jackman is just extremely tall, so that is the reason why in the movies, you know, he ends up being really tall. But this is a more accurate representation because it is, again, the comics. So let's get in for a closer look. We're going to start with Deadpool because I'm going to have the camera up higher, and then I can feed Wolverine in there. I can't feed Deadpool in there if the camera's low. Alright, so Deadpool. Here we have Deadpool, and he looks really good. There's not a whole lot going on for the X-Force suit. As you can see, it's just like all gray. With a little bit of black. You just have these ankle bands here. Those are a separate floating piece. He's got like these wristbands there, and then he's got the choker there. But a little bit of black on the suit. He's got some pouches on his right leg. He's got pouches on his belt there. He's got the sheaths for his sword. Interestingly enough, I don't know why they did this, but he's got fake swords in the sheath now. He comes with the swords, so and I haven't tested this yet. I don't know if they work. No, they don't. I don't know why wouldn't they just do that to where it was compatible? Or wouldn't that have made most sense? I don't know why Mafex Medicom did that, but that is the way they did it. It's a bit odd. I was like, wait, oh, does he come with 4 swords? And then I'm like, oh, let me check this out. And then I'm like, huh? So, again, a bit odd, but you know, that's the way they decided to do it. But here we have him. He's got red eyes. He's got 4 different head sculpts in total. So we have this one here. This is just kind of the regular one, as you can see there. Then we have this one, which is very wide-eyed. There, like he's surprised, he's shocked, like, oh my god, what did I see? Oh, I wish I would have had the other hand on there. I can do like the, oh, what? Actually, can I do that? Let's see. No, actually, I can't really get the hand up to his head. Let me see. Maybe if I work the butterfly joint a little bit. No, can't do that. So one thing that is going to be frustrating, because I've done this a bunch of times, this wrist cuff, this wristband, was on backwards, so it sat too far up. This one, it goes onto the arm a little bit, but what happens is it hinders the hinge on the hand, so where you want to hinge that hand, it ends up popping the hand off, which kind of drives me crazy. On to the next head sculpt, though. As I pop that head off, look, get this one. This one is more of a squinting eye look for Deadpool. Whoop. Get that choker down. Let's pop that head on there. This one, again, he's got the squinting look, so this could be a more focused one or kind of an angrier Deadpool look there. So that looks pretty good. And then we have one more, and this one is going to be, I think, kind of a laughing one or a smiling one. It's hard to kind of tell, but I think that's what it is. So if you look at his eyes there, the way that they're kind of curved, to me it looks like more of a like smiling or laughing head sculpt, right? You guys let me know what you think, but I think that's what that means. But we have those 4 different head sculpts, and we have the Deadpool figure, and it's just a very solid figure, just feels very good, very sturdy, so I'm very happy about that. So now let's go ahead and move on to Wolverine. Okay, so here is Wolverine, and this looks pretty good. You can see his eyes are redded out too. He's got a darker gray to him compared to Deadpool. He's got some painted on arm hair, which I'm a big fan of. Marvel Legends tends to never do it, and it drives me crazy. I mean, they do it sometimes, but not all the time. Like, they'll do sculpted hair before they do paint, which is crazy. So I like that we actually got some painted on arm hair there. You can see he's just gray and black kind of throughout. He's got some silver buckles on his boots. But not a whole lot going on there. Sculpt-wise, it looks pretty good. We get some nice wrinkles and folds in his suit, which I am a fan of. That way it's not all completely smooth. If anything, that would be my only complaint on Deadpool. He's a little too smooth in areas, like his legs are completely smooth. Like, we get some folds and things in certain areas, but otherwise, like, his arms and his legs are just really smooth, and it just looks a little bit odd. So I'm a big fan of all the different folds, and things on the suit here. Red X logo there on his belt. It's got some pouches, not a whole lot going on for him. He's got a couple of different head sculpts, so we're going to take a look at him. So this is just kind of the straight stoic face. And then we got like a gritted teeth face. And this head sculpt, by the way, comes off very easily. Like, when I had first taken it out of the package, I had kind of put it down. The head fell off on its own. Not that the head will just come off completely on its own, like I'm holding it from the head, but when you pop it off, it comes off extremely easily, which is kind of crazy. You know, the MCU figures, you know, Steve Rogers, Captain America Stealth Suit, and Winter Soldier, I had troubles, you know, with the neck peg, but these guys, you know, are very, very easy. Like, I don't have those issues whatsoever, so it's kind of nice. Here we have a gritted teeth, angry Wolverine, and that looks pretty good there. And then one more, we have an open mouth growling, like, oh, and see, and right after I said it, I'm like, oh, the neck peg doesn't come off, and then this one, it does it, and now I have to try, and it's so high up in there, I can't even grip this ball to be able to get that out. So let's see, while I'm on camera still, because I want to show you guys, because you guys might experience these same things. I want you guys to be able to see like what the fix could be. Now, I'm going to have, oh man, I'm going to have to try and, let me see if I do that. And it's got the neck peg is the curved one instead of a straight one. Let me see if I push it down this way, will it force it out a little bit? No, not really. Yeah, I'm going to have to see what I can do to get that neck peg out. Right, man, right when I said that, oh, like, it's not an issue on this one, and then it happened. So, we got this growling, screaming head sculpt that I want to show you guys, but I got to figure out how to get this neck peg out first. Alright, so that was not easy. That was difficult. I somehow used this little web accessory piece that came with like a basic Spider-Verse figure or something. I don't even really remember. But I was able to like kind of scoop it and then kind of pull on it and popped out that neck peg. So I swapped out the head. That is the last head sculpt to take a look at, and that is pretty good. It's just kind of black in the inside. If you... let's see if the neck's going to come off. Haha! You can see there it is a separate piece for that mouth to kind of give it a little bit of a realistic look in there. But that is pretty cool. So those are the different head sculpts for Wolverine. One thing I have not yet done, and we're going to do this now, is you can see we have regular hands. So we have open hands for Wolverine, and then we also have his claws popped. So it would not be a Wolverine figure if we were not showing him with popped claws, right? So we're going to take those hands off. They come off very easily on those pegs. Let's get these hands off there. The claws are not removable in any way. They are a little bit pokey, and I'm scared to kind of break them off. So just heads up on that. You want to be careful on how you're going to handle these hands. And then we can slip them on like so. And we have our Wolverine claws like so. And those look pretty good. You don't have to worry about them bending or anything like that. They're solid plastic pieces. So now, again, we have our Wolverine with his claws popped, and that is pretty good. Okay, so let's take a look at the articulation for Wolverine and Deadpool, and then we will get into like all of Deadpool's hands, because I realized I didn't talk about that yet. So we're going to stick Deadpool off to this. We're just going to take him on camera. So we're going to take a look at Wolverine. So Wolverine can look up that much, which is good, because you can move the neck along with the head on that neck peg. You can look down all the way, which is good. You can do a rotation. You get some tilt in that neck and everything like that. So really good motion and movement. You can get the arm to go straight on out. You get a full rotation in there. You have a butterfly joint at that shoulder, which kind of moves around all crazy like, but you can get some really good crossbody, like some of the best crossbody ever. But that arm has to be pretty high up. Like you can't get, you could do some, but you can't get the crossbody as much there. But again, if you get it upwards, you can do some crazy stuff there. And then getting the arm to go back, you can get the arm to go back quite a ways, which is good. You have an upper bicep swivel in there. Double jointed elbow gives you just over 90 degrees, I would say there. Wrist swivel, and they do hinge. It is a ball joint hinge, so you can hinge them all around whichever way you need to get them to move. We have the diaphragm cut and the ball joint waist. So total, you can get Wolverine to tilt to his left that much, which is great. You can get him to tilt to his, I said left, right? That was his left. Here is his right on that tilt. I know I get those confused sometimes when talking in the video for some reason. Getting him to lean back, he can lean back that far. And then coming forward, let's see. Coming forward is that much, but when you incorporate the hips, right, you can get him to go down quite a bit, which is good. You do have the drop down hips on Wolverine. They don't drop down as much, which isn't so much of a problem. I don't mind that too much at all. You can get the legs go out that far apart. He can't kick forward. Get these arms out of the way. He can't kick forward that far there. The leg goes back slightly. You get a little bit of a swivel at that thigh right where it meets the hip. Only slightly. This is probably the least amount of swivel out of any of the Mafex figures that I have seen. So it's very limited. Deadpool might be kind of a similar situation. The knee, you get double joint knee there. There's no boot swivel on this guy. Foot hinges down quite a bit. You can get some hinge up, but the top of the foot does hit that boot, so you got to be careful there. Ankle pivot, and then you have toe articulation there for Wolverine. So moves around pretty good. I don't have any complaints. I think it's pretty good movement for Wolverine. But we're going to move on to Deadpool now. So we're going to see how Deadpool can move around, and he should move around just as good as Wolverine. So he can look up like so there. He can look down. He does have the pivot at the neck and everything like that. You can do the full rotation in the heads too. The arm you can get to go straight on out. You can do a full rotation in there if you'd like. There is a butterfly joint which can get the arm to go back a little bit, but you're not going to get the same amount of crossbody as Wolverine, but you can still get some, which is good. You got the upper bicep swivel in there. You get a double jointed elbow, which is just over 90 degrees. So it's actually a little disappointing how much bend you get at the elbow. I would have hoped for more, since he doesn't have the massive muscly arms that like Wolverine has. So it's a little disappointing in my opinion. Wrist swivel and hinge, they have the ball joint hinge. And again, I had mentioned that these wrist cuffs, these armbands, kind of get in the way a little bit. Like I wished you could force them onto the arm a little bit more, because when you want to hinge the hand, it restricts those wrist cuffs restrict, and then pop the hand off. So just a heads up on that. So ball joint waist diaphragm cut. You can get Deadpool to lean to his left that much in total. You can lean to the right that much in total there, which is really good. Leaning back, you can get Deadpool to lean back quite a bit far. Coming forward, let's see if we can get this belt kind of down. Maybe that could help a little bit. Coming forward there, if the legs are straight, come forward is that much there, but you know, incorporate the hips, you can get him to lean quite a bit. We do have the drop down hips. They're not as much as like the Spider-Man or even the MCU figures were, but we do have the drop down hips in there. He can do the full on splits like so. He can kick forward very, very, very high. Leg goes back actually quite a ways, which is good. Swivel on there is very limited like Wolverine's was. There is some, but it is pretty darn limited in there. Double jointed knee, that much bend there. No boot swivel of any kind. You do get a swivel at that ankle though, which is good. Foot hinges down a little bit, and I don't know if you could work that foot over the leg, not really, and then hinge up as only a little bit. You do get pivot, and then you have the toe articulation there. So still pretty good. You know, it could be disappointing in some areas, but I think for the most part you'll be able to kind of get Deadpool in any particular pose that you're really going to want to get him into. But now let's go ahead and see all the different hands that he comes with. Okay, so I can't put all the hands onto the figure because this video would be super long. So he has these ones here. These are just open hands, as you can see, wide open hands, and then he has kind of the relaxed open hands as well. Out of the package are the fists, so that's 3 sets of hands there. We get trigger finger hands with no guns, so if you have different guns from different figures, I don't really have any handy other than like a G.I. Joe classified one. As you can see, it's going to fit on there just nicely. Sorry I don't have any of the other ones to pull out so you guys can see, but trigger finger hands. There we have the katana knife holding hands. As you can see, they're just kind of keyed out with a big hole so you can have for the sword. That's not really going to work. I have to look because those they can hold the swords, but like, oh geez, okay, so the bottom of the sheath pulls out so you can fit the sword into his hand, and then you pop that back into the sword. So that's how you're going to get him to hold the sword. Interesting, an unnecessary step, but I guess if that's what it takes, I mean, it looks good holding the hand and it's firm, but yeah, that one's a bit of an odd one. Then we get some thumbs up hands or thumbs down, depending on how you want to do it. And then we get the like trigger finger or the finger gun hand. So, right, we got those. And then the 2 swords. So those are the hands for Deadpool. Wade Wilson. Okay, so I'm going to do a couple of different poses. And again, I'm learning, or I'm not the best at posing, and I know every now and then I might hit something that's pretty good. But like in general, just I'm not the greatest at it because it's just, it takes a little bit of creativity in my mind that I sometimes don't have in the moments. But here, like, we have a couple of different Wolverine and Deadpool poses that I kind of like. I kind of like that other one where I had Deadpool having his shoulder over Wolverine, which is kind of cool. But I'm going to see what else I can do here for you guys. Okay, so I got Deadpool doing a little finger point and thumbs up there, and then we can have like Wolverine going in for an attack or something like that. And I think those look pretty good. Again, these have really good articulation, so you can get them into some pretty damn good poses. Just, I have difficulties and struggle with that, but I bet a lot of you guys are able to do them very easily. Okay, and then a couple of last poses for you guys. I tried, but sometimes the creativity just doesn't hit me on how I can kind of position them. But I wanted to kind of show you guys a surprise, shocked Deadpool, or scared, Deadpool, and then Wolverine kind of battle ready to go here. So now let's move on to a couple of side-by-side comparisons. We're going to take a look at the Marvel Legends counterparts. Okay, so here we have the Marvel Legends versions compared to the Mafex versions. So you can see that the Deadpool and Wolverine are a closer match in terms of the gray colors, whereas the 2 Mafex ones, they are not the same. Deadpool is in so much lighter of a gray compared to like Wolverine. But they kind of work well together. It's funny or odd to see a Mafex figure that's actually like bigger than a Marvel Legends figure, because Mafex, in my opinion, tends to run a little bit smaller. But here in these particular cases, Wolverine is taller than the Marvel Legends. Deadpool is taller than the Marvel Legends. So it's a bit odd, but I do like the way they look. Like, these two figures feel very good. Like, if you have a Mafex Spider-Man figure, which I'll show here shortly, not that they don't, they're just very, like, thin, and it kind of throws me off. They don't feel fragile or anything like that. They're sturdy, but they're thin, whereas, like, these guys feel just like you can handle it a little bit better. Like, it's not gonna, you don't have to be as careful with them, which is nice. But in my opinion, the Mafex figures do look better than the Marvel Legends figures. So it's up to you on which ones you think is gonna be kind of the ones that are gonna best fit in your collection, or what you want to do with it. And it could be the Mafex figures that win it out for you. You guys let me know down in the comments below. And for the fun of it, here we have a comic Spider-Man, the symbiote suit Spider-Man, so you can see just kind of the darker colors in general. But, you know, I didn't want to bring out the red and blue or the Scarlet Spider or the Ben Reilly Spider-Man. Here we have the symbiote Spider-Man, and you can see size-wise, I think they all work really well together. I think Mafex kind of has a little bit of consistency, maybe with their comic figures, but I don't have any of the X-Men ones, so you guys will have to let me know down in the comments below. I think their movie figures, the scaling isn't perfect. But here, these three in particular do look really good together. Okay, so that is my review of the Deadpool and Wolverine Mafex X-Force figures by Medicom Toy. Again, these are both in stock right now at BigBadToyStore.com. Links in the video description below to pick up these two figures or any Mafex Marvel figures or anything for your action figure collection. Big Bad Toy Store is your place to go. So link in the video description below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, thank you for watching.